We are getting mega servers. That's right, all of SOD, every single server, from your deadest to your most lively, we are being forced into one amalgamation of players. What does that mean though? What does that even look like for the player base? Are the people in Lone Wolf finally being forced to abandon their dead-ass server to join a big one? There is a lot of questions, there's a lot of curiosity in regards to these mega servers that are coming. So let's just address the big ass elephant in the room. And there is no elephant in the room, but you get what I'm saying. We are getting 2 mega servers per region. 1 PvP, 1 PvE. NA, EU, I don't know if they're gonna do that in China or not, that's a whole different conversation. But in the Europe and in the Americas, we are getting the mega servers. So right off the bat, we have the naming issue. My name is Ebonheart. There's going to be a whole bunch of people that have unique names that are their names. And you go to this new server, and then you see somebody with your name, and you have to be like, oh shit, am I gonna be Ebonheart with the weird characters in my name? I am no longer the OG. And vice versa. You might have a very popular, very unique name, but you were first to make it. For example, B, James, John. You guys get what I'm saying. Now you guys are gonna have to race. Who transfers their character first? Who launches the server, waits for the minute, clicks transfer character to the new server and claims the name first? It's going to be a bit of a shit show, and it's going to cause there to be a lot of pissed off people in the forums. In fact, I cannot wait to read all the anger and negativity and the vitriol as somebody going, he stole my name. I was the first. Well, were you? Because you lost the race. Again, as I'm saying, it's a big issue on what happens to people's names. Now, that then brings you into the question of, say everybody transfers and the naming issue was solved, whatever. They figure out a way to make it so that not everybody loses their name. But some people are going to have to at the end of the day. The other issues are even bigger. What if you choose not to transfer? Say you choose to stay in Crusader Strike because it's a big server, we'll be fine. And then you get lone wolfed. Because guess what? They're locking the old servers. So the longer you wait to transfer, the worse it is for you. This isn't a good game of chicken to play, because most people, the moment these servers come out, are gone, transferred. There is no more, oh, my friend plays on this server, I play on this server, he plays over there, you know, my friend group is disoriented. You're now all on one server, which is actually a really good thing in the grand scheme of things and in the long run, because if you think about it, one of the biggest qualms of launching the game on launch day, when a new server comes out, when a new game mode comes out, is, oh shit, there's a queue of 17,000 people. I don't want to wait that long. Let me jump onto this server and I'll play there, and then, you know, I'll level another character when they open up the servers that you never do and all that stuff. That's gone. That's never happening again. We are getting mega servers forever going forward. In fact, in retail right now, all the servers are one server. Now, some of you might be going, what do you mean it's one server in retail? It's cross-realm, it's cross-faction, it's cross-everything. Just not cross-continent, so EU is still separate from NA. Everyone in all those servers can join each other's guilds. So if you're in Windrest Accord, you can join a guild in Moonguard. If you're Horde or Alliance, you can join a guild together. Everything on retail is one mega server, but you essentially just get to keep your unique names. And I assume that's why they did it like that on retail. Instead of merging everybody into one server, it's essentially just John Rimguard, John Moonguard, John Illidan, John Area 51 can all be in the same guild, and they're all John, just with the server name after it. It's essentially more of an affix than it is a server at this point. But then let's talk about the bigger elephant in the room, or let's use a different animal this time, the rhino in the room. What happens to communities? What happens to guilds? When you transfer to a mega server and there's 80,000 people on one server, that's a lot of people playing at once. The amount of layers is going to be, yo, can I get an invite to layer 37? The server community, the server identity is gone. And that's kind of an interesting situation at the end of the day, because server identity is one of the big parts of Classic. If you ask people, everyone's kind of got that tie, that attachment to their server of choice. This is my home. I built it with my blood, sweat, and tears. But on a mega server, it's everybody's home. It's America. Welcome to America. But on the flip side, it's actually good, because there is no more small server problems. Sure, we have another array of big server problems, and that is kind of problematic in itself. For example, auction houses, gathering stuff in the open world, someone griefs you or ninja loots you, nobody cares. Dude's gonna jump to layer 72. Nobody there is gonna know who the fuck he is. And even if you try to complain about it in the LFG bulletin board or whatever, or in the Discord's probably gonna have 300,000 people in it. Nobody's going to remember every single ninja looter when there's so many of them. And on a server that large, it's probably going to be very easy to blend in. I can tell you right now, I've been ninja looted 4 times in SOD so far. I don't even remember a single ninja looter's name. Now, tied into a server this large, there's going to be problems with keeping people accountable to their actions. But that is a consequence and a problem that isn't actually as big a deal in the grand scheme of things. Like I said, we are getting everybody on a singular server. That is not a big problem whatsoever, because there's no longer going to be a dead server. There's no longer going to be logging in at 1 a.m. and being alone. You're going to be able to log in at any point of time and have dozens of raids going, pugs going, dungeon groups going. It's going to make SOD feel more alive than it has ever been. Think about it. Every single guild, every single server on at the same time. All those late night raids, all those early morning raids, you're going to be able to find a group, a community, a people to play with, no matter when and where you play from. And that is honestly one of the best things they can do to Classic. But at the same time, that server identity is so incredibly Classic that it's worrisome that we're entering a kind of retail-esque feeling of modernity. People play Classic for that lack of modernity. Again, I'm not going to debate what is or isn't Classic. That's not what this video is about. We're discussing servers and mega servers and how that impacts everybody. And if this does end up working very well for SOD, and I have an inkling that it's going to be a very good change for the Season of Discovery servers, is this going to happen on every single Classic game coming forward? When we get Classic Fresh, or Hardcore Fresh, or Classic Plus, are the only options Mega Server PvP and Mega Server PvE? And personally, I think that should be the only option. I mentioned it earlier in the video, but having everybody on the same server solves that issue of not being able to play with your friends, of not being able to find a raid time or a raid group or friends or dungeon groups. When everybody's playing, that means when everyone is leveling, we're all leveling on the same server. There's always going to be people in Alwyn. There's always going to be people in Durotar. There's going to be people playing at all times forever. And that is the singular best change and the reason we should all be excited for mega servers. But I have raved on about some negatives, some positives, so I want to talk about a net negative. And that is community feeling. When everyone's on that same server, there is no more identity. And I did touch on this before, but you are no longer the top guild of Crusader Strike. You're no longer the top guild of Lone Wolf. You are good guild A amongst a group of good guilds. You are no longer that relevant. You don't have the identity of being the best guild on the server. You can no longer say, hey, join us, we're looking for raiders, we're the best guild. When every guild on the same fucking server, you're all identical. Good guild A to good guild C to good guild F. And again, raid times and all that stuff, you'll still be able to find people. But there's no more server pride or even faction pride to a degree. Because again, we're all there at the same time, forever. And that does lead to a problem for small guilds. Why would somebody be in a small guild when you could just go join Mega Guild 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that has 32 raid teams going? It's got 3 different sub-guilds, it's got thousands of players, there's always active, always people to group with. But you could say the opposite of why would you bother being in a Mega Guild when everybody's on the same server? So Mega Guild may die and everyone will just be in small independent guilds, because guess what? You can log in at any point of the day and find a dungeon group, or find a raid group, or find a pug group. There's so many upsides and downsides to the mega server, but if I'm being honest and I'm being objective, the mega servers are great for WoW. They're great for SOD. There isn't enough of a downside for this to be a bad thing. They do have to fix the name issue, they have to fix a few other smaller issues. But for the game, for the community, for the player base, this is a banger situation. This is top tier. I know people are going to complain, I know people are going to be upset, but for a game like SOD, where you have people starting and playing at random times throughout the time, there's no more. What server should I start on? Just pick the mega server, PvP or PvE. And for the future of WoW, it's amazing. So thank you all for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. If you hated the video, hate all my videos. Be a dedicated hater. Thank you all. Ebonhard out. Peace.